Hello everyone, my name is Lincoln. I'm working for Border Corporate Services, and today I'm going to give some introduction and discussion about how Border Corporate and Strata in Queensland. And for this, we'll give you introductions about myself, and I will also discuss how the Border Corporate is living different in Australia and China. And also, there are some ideas about misunderstanding of a border corporate management, and also introduce how we're gonna help Chinese property owner to support their living in here. And also, to support there, we have to publish some documents in Mandarin and Cantonese, help them to understand more about how it's running in Australia. And we encourage you as a law owner to be involved in this border corporate and to be on a committee to support a better life in here. And I will also give some my past experience about how I help my customers in Mandarin, and also the general idea was the basic parts you want to know if they have a different cultural background. So first, before we start, I just give some instruction for myself. Me, born from Wuhan, China, and I've been living there for more than 20 years. So all those knowledge and experience about border corporate from China will be basically in Wuhan, but I believe most part will be the same. And I live in Brisbane for many years now, and I'm working for BCS for 2 years. And now I have a fully understanding how the border corporate is different from here in China. And that's a lot part to discuss because definitely there's different way to managing everything, and people have a different understanding how border corporate runs. And as a system strata manager, also help the customers and our strata manager to dealing with day-to-day customer requirements, and that's including correspondence, including repair maintenance and insurance claim. And I believe if you live in the strata title company, strata title building, you'll be really interested. And because as the Mandarin speaker in our office, and I will majorly assigned to help some overseas or Chinese owner that they can't speak English, and just give them more understanding of how everything runs here, and they give them customer service and help. A good understanding of border corporate rules will definitely give you advantage how you're gonna managing everything here, because the basic concept of a common area and the individual lots will be quite different. And there will also a big difference between strata manager and the property manager. Okay, first let's talk about a difference in Australia and China. So as a Chinese owner, I believe we also have apartments or property in China, and that's a huge difference. Will be the first one I would say. The complex size. Normally, our committee will contain many buildings together in one committee, and that could be lead to 2,000 lots. And in Australia, you normally can see some small lots, even just 2 lots, or maybe just one apartment building is one committee. So, and this will also lead to a different management style. So in China, with a large complex, the strata company will set a team, or the whole company will just stay on site to assist everyone in that complex. And they will also have their whole team. This team including the strata managers, customer services, security team, cleaner team, and the maintenance team. But here in Australia, it's different. We have an office that's not on site, that's not within your apartment or townhouse. But we do have our team to support you in different way. We got an assistant strata manager, we got a admin team, financial team, and receptions and after our team to support you in all different needs. And in China, like I said, you got a security guards and the cleaners on site, and that give you a different thing, different aspect to managing this complex. So before anyone raise any issue of your complex, let's say your garden looks terrible, you have the gate is broken, it's not working. Maybe before the strata manager be notified by law owner committee, the security guards and cleaners is already report to the headquarters, and they start to getting involved with this matter. But however, in Brisbane, in Queensland, even I think in Australia, that will be the committee and the law owner will be involved, because as a law owner, you are the body corporate, so you will report this to your strata manager, and the strata manager will not be on site. That's the most different part. And I got a lot of people asking why that I got a body corporate manager here, but they don't know this such thing, because that's the nature difference. That's strata manager won't stay on site. All the inspections and the repairs was being carried by the contractors. And in China, we do have our own team stay on site, and they were working here only, and they're not supporting any other place. And another different place is about the body corporate way of management, like making decisions. So in China, law owner and the committee normally don't get involved for most situation, like a repair maintenance issue. The strata company will not seeking approval from the law owner or the committee to have a decision on that. They will follow in the bylaws or the service agreement to conduct a service or repair maintenance. But in Australia, they will always seeking approval from a committee, and if it's a large issue, they will have majority law owner to get approval with this matter. And by saying the bylaws, it's another different thing. And I believe most people staying here and with understanding of bylaw, but not really understanding what's the bylaw here. So the bylaws here is we call the management documents to managing these those complexes. And those bylaws are forcible by law, because the bylaws are drafted underneath by the law within Queensland. And there will be several different laws, like a land title law and body corporate and committee management law. And those laws are also with details to otherwise some complex that are self-management with the guidance, like if there's a fence between you and the other another complex, how you're gonna share the cost, how you're gonna make a decision on that. But the laws in China is different. The laws in China is majorly to helping the strata company to managing them, to ruling them, make sure they're doing the right thing. And the bylaws in China, it's not forcible unless it's also against the national law. For example, if you have a dog and you didn't get a permission from the city council or from the local government, you didn't get a permit, the strata company have the rights to contact the law owner and let them stop keeping their pets or dogs in the complex. But on the other things, like if you have changed the appearance of your building, let's say just a small change, a different color window tint, everyone's get a black color, but there's one law owners get red color. This is not against the Chinese law. So in this way, the bylaw in China is not forcible. The strata company have no rights to engage a lawyer or any government department to tell this law owner that you can't use a different color. But in Australia, you can, because the bylaw was drafted under the national law and it's forcible. If anything that's go further beyond the capability of strata company, this can bring to the commissioner office, and the lawyers can be also engaged to dealing with such kind of issue. And another thing is different here is about a sinking fund. The sinking fund in China, as I know, typically in Wuhan, most complex, the very first buyer, they will deposit in the sinking fund. And this sinking fund will be passed to the next buyer just without notice. And so this will be follow the law. So some buyers even don't know, the second buyer even don't know they have a sinking fund in the building. But the sinking fund in China is really hard to be activated, because it has to get many approval from the law owner and approval from the local city council, because if you want to do kind of improvement to change the structure of the building and to dealing with some major repair maintenance issue. But in Australia, the sinking fund is different. It's been budgeted all the times. It will be depends on if you have any future plans, if there is major improvement, or if there gonna be a potential risk for this building. So the sinking fund is aiming for that. And another one is for the administrative fund in the levy that's be clearly displayed in Australia. That's we're dealing with your daily repair maintenance and it's like a gardening, like some small repair maintenance issue that probably could happen every year. And also the management fees are included in the administration fund. Okay, let's move to the next part about communication. So misconcept number one, the body corporate manager responsibility. So this is not just about the overseas owner that didn't quite understand the strata manager's role. Even for here, people will have a little bit different understanding. So for basically our rule is to provide administration assistance and legal advice. So we are not just directly put our hands on, like put our staff on doing cleanings and the security things, but instead we will help you, the committee, to make decision. If you want security, no problem. We can seeking source for court, issue work order, and find the best, and working together to find a best contractor to conduct this job. And if the committee have any idea or there's a new legislation has been published in Queensland, that we will give advice to the body corporate and the committee to follow the laws. And another one is the contribution, or called the levy fees. So for some buildings, you will think, why my levy is so high? Or some owner may thinking, okay, I'm living 200 lots apartment and my next door is another 200 lots apartment. Why the contributions or the levy fees is quite different? Yes, they're always different. First, the building can be different. Your building could be including a pool or gym, but the other one is not. And your building could be very new, so the budget didn't have too much budget for the next year for repair maintenance, but the other one is very old and they got more records for repair maintenance and they got a higher insurance fees to pay. And the contributions is including the two parts here. Sinking fund and administration fund, like I just mentioned in the last one, the sinking fund is for the major repair and improvement, and the administration fund is for the small repairs or happens all the time. And the repair fees can be also sometimes covers something within your lot. Let's say if there is a main pipe that is servicing multiple lots and it just goes through underneath your unit, and that one has an issue, it's broken, it's caused a water leak and damage to your unit, and this fee is gonna cover for that, and also will be used to pay for the excess fee for the insurance. And the last one is about the pets are not allowed in the strata title buildings. Actually, I can understand why people thinking about that, because most overseas investors, they haven't stayed here before. They were living in townhouse before. They were living in the apartment before. And there always a rule that pets are not allowed. Because during that time you are tenant, this rule is not set by the body corporate, but it's set by the law owner. So they just simply don't want to rent this apartment or townhouse to someone who has a pet. With the body corporate bylaws, it will say you can have a pet, but it will with some conditions. The basic one will be you can't let your dog to damage anything for the common area. And if it's damaged by your dog and the owner is responsible for repair and is responsible for repair these things. So, and the bylaw is not simply can say that you can't have a pet or cats or dogs in here, because that's simply against the national law. And if you have that kind of bylaw for your complex now, I think it's the time you discuss with the strata manager to change it, because that's we're not protected and supported by the national law. Okay, in order to helping the Chinese property owners, that our company is trying to now to understanding more the background of Chinese community, because we started understanding that because with different cultural background and knowledge about the body corporate in China, we start to understand why we think different and the way we communicate is different. Because I can understand that when I live in the strata title complex, like my community in China, if there's anything happen within the complex, I won't give any emails or like something in writing to the strata manager. I probably just directly go to the anyone that's on site, like the security guard. Hey, please look at this place. The gardening is having issue, and there's a pipe seems leaking here, and they will be engaged because they can do the inspection immediately. But in here, like I mentioned before, the strata manager is not here, and they don't have any staff on site, so they probably didn't understand what's happening here. So that's the difference, and we now being patient to explain to everyone, especially people have a different cultural background, to understand, okay, here's the different way to manage your complex. If you notice any issue, you can just let us know, give us a call, send an email and the photos, and we can engage with this matter. And also, you should understand that we are not making calls on this. We're not making decision directly. They always will pass to the committee or the whole body corporate to make a decision on what we should do next. Okay, second point is we start to change our way to communicate. Using WeChat and emails will be another different way. Yes, email will be also the major way to discuss, but now we can also accept the email sent in Mandarin or Cantonese. We got me and my other colleagues can read those emails and to give you reply in Mandarin and Cantonese, make sure that we communicate efficiently and understanding each other's needs. And the WeChat is already used by some strata manager, and so that's the thing we prefer. We know that's much easier than using email. Just use a cell phone, text us, send a voice message, or send a photo of the damaged location, and that's quite easy. With going extra mile, and we're not just wanting that we stay away from you or you stay away from me. I prefer that if you have anything that you think that might be a body corporate issue, or you think that's something that might contribute to the committee or the complex, just let us know. Talk to us, give us a call, send us messages. We're very comfortable to this. Breaking the language and the cultural barriers together, I'm strongly encourage you to involve your committee because as a property owner, and you always have a right to have a say in about any project or any works in your committee because you invest for this. You're not just seeking for the return for your rent, you're also looking for a long-term increase of your property. And have a good protection and the improvement of your complex, that will be also good return of your investment. And be a customers, and I will suggest you to be on the committee because you can also have a more interaction with each other, with your neighbor, with the strata manager, and to understanding better about your complex and giving a different idea and recommendations to how we're gonna manage your complex better. My recommendation, don't be shy, get involved, and just share your any ideas about how you want to run this place. Okay, let's move to the next part, which is body corporate knowledge and then guidance, and to get involved with the community to make a difference. Because with a different cultural background, definitely will have a better support with the committee. It's not just about different understanding of the laws, and it's also about different idea of how you want to run this place. My experience about dealing with some English-speaking customers will be like Airbnbs and the puppies and also insurance claims. And because we also got some phone calls, the buyers want to know, I'm going to buy this apartment, but I think apartment is not allowed to keeping any pets, dogs, or even birds here. I would say, okay, no, simply, I don't think any buildings will set up such kind of bylaw or rule. If it is, I was thinking that there must be something very, very different. We can go deeper. But if it's this building and management, then definitely you can have a pet. You just need to get approval from the committee. And another thing is I do have before is about insurance claim, because as an investor, you may ask to have the landlord insurance to cover your apartment or townhouse, but they always have a different policy and it covers different part. The landlord insurance, as I know, will cover most things that's from the law owner. For example, the tenant didn't pay for their rent on time, or the tenant didn't behave right and they just run away and with some of your stuff, and that's covered by the landlord insurance. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's a different part because for the body corporate insurance, it's mostly cover the building insurance, like the building structures and the main pipe supporting each lot and the cables, the main cables to give supplies to every lot. So it will cover the common area. Let's say if you are living in an apartment and you got a roof leak and the water is coming to your house, that's a very large chance that the body corporate insurance will cover to fix the leaking roof. Okay, like just said about insurance, so we can also talk about who is responsible for what. And before we move into that, I hope everyone can have a little bit understanding that this also will be defined by the type of your building. So in Australia, we have two types of building. The first one will be standard format building, and the other one will be building format plan. And in easy way to compare to each other, the standard one will be townhouses in most situation, and apartment will be the building format. And to understand who is responsible for what, I have a simple idea that can help you to understand or have a question before you're making the calls. If a facility or equipment or the building structure is servicing or shared by many owners, let's say the pool, and if that have an issue, then that's a body corporate issue. Body corporate will be responsible for that. And if there's something that's only service your lot and it's only used by your lot, then that will be your responsibility. And the most situation will be if your tap is leaking and it's broken, then that's law owner's issue. If your TV and the laptop, then definitely that's your issue. But if there's a main structure of the building, like the foundations of apartment, then that will be body corporate issue. Okay, and the next part is about the property manager and the body corporate manager. I understand there's a misunderstanding between these two roles because the translation thing that it sounds quite similar to each other. But for the property manager, it's majorly for renting your apartments, and everything happen within your apartment that will be managed by the property manager. For example, chasing the rent from the tenant and put the lease on the website is their job. But anything happen in the common area or it's related to another lot or like a noise complaint, that will come to the body corporate. And the body corporate fees and the property manager fees are quite different. I would say body corporate fees in another way is body corporate contributions because it's including the management fees from the strata company, and it's also including the levies, which is the contributions to based on the budget for the future repair maintenance and other improvement project. But the property management fees are simply just the management fee for the property manager to managing your lot. The last part, bylaws and the laws, which one is more important? If you live in the complex, definitely bylaw will be the first one it will be the following, because in the laws it can't say you have to get approval from someone else to have a pet here, but the bylaws will say that. So follow the bylaw, and some of the details will be different from each different building and the complex. So the bylaws will give you more details, but the laws will have a big frame and structures telling you how the bylaws should be drafted and how the bylaws should be proceed. Like the laws will say you cannot just say anything no or yes. You have to give some conditions. Like you can't just say you can't have a pet or you can't have improvement at your lot. The bylaws will give you details. Yes, you can have your pet, but this is the rules. You can have your lot to be improved, but there's something you can touch, something you can't. Okay, so this is a fact sheet that I believe everyone will receive by email, and it's give you some instructions how the body corporate and the lot owner is responsible for their lots and the common area. When you're having those issues from here, you can have a look and think about it. If it's a issue you think that might be a body corporate issue, I would suggest just give a call to us, and we will give a little bit discussion and the background knowledge about what's happening and give you the answers. And we can't go too much details about each item because each item could be different from different complex and their bylaws, and the situation might be slightly different. As our trainings from many strata managers, they will not give you a confirmed answer immediately over the phone because they always say it depends, because there's a leaking issue. Is this covered by the insurance or body corporate? I can't tell you now because it depends. It's how it's happening and why it's happening. So, but don't worry about that. And every time you have a question about who is responsible for what, just get involved, contact us, and we will help you and find it out. Thank you, everyone. Here's my contact details, my email address, and my WeChat QR code. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact me in Mandarin, in English. I'm all happy with that. Thank you.